Hello everyone, in this lesson we will do dodge. Dodging is a quick evasion from the enemy's attack line. I like how it's done in Sifu. Maybe the treasure hunter wants a longer distance because he is more imaginative, something like that. Close to this. I prefer a longer distance. It's on the rack play point. We go to the map pack where all the animations are and choose evade. Here, for me the evade suits me the most. I like this step. Here you can control the distance a little by adding a key to the root motion offset. For example, to increase the jumps. They seem too amplitude. And here I want to take this leap to the right and forward, backward. Left will be from this combination of steps as a leap. And we have 4 directions. I think that if you look at it like this, along the coordinate axis, as if it is now at 0, then 45 degrees plus and minus 45 degrees will be a leap forward. Minus 45 and minus 135 will be a leap to the left. Minus 135 and 135 will be a leap backward. That is, this is how his shadow shows it now. It's minus 135. Well, and to the right it turns out from 45 to 135. We go to the folder with input, set person input, actions, and here we create a new action input. Action input, action dodge. Leave everything else as default. Now we go back to the input folder and open the context. Here we add input action dodge with a plus sign. For the controller, I will have button B, and for the keyboard, it will be the spacebar. Accordingly, we only need the trigger to be pressed here and there. Input action created. Now we move to the blueprint and invoke this input action. We need to create a variable from dodge. And now to set these directions that were discussed before. That is, forward he will dodge when he has from minus 45 to 45. If you look in a circle like this, minus 45 and 45. So we take the direction and behind it the blueprint. But for now these are variables. We don't have them. We only have sleep. So in the same way we obtain sleep, we need to obtain the direction variable. We create this variable of type float. We go to one blueprint here. We have a cast blueprint set person character when we were setting here. We have a cast to the blueprint in person character when we were setting speed. And in the same way we set direction. That is, we pull from this port, set direction and pass the corresponding variable that we obtained when calculating the direction. That is, we set the port, pass it further. Now, based on this variable, we can get the direction of the character, where he is moving, based on the input. Accordingly, if this direction is greater than minus 45, that is in this direction, and less than 45, then it will be a view in front of the character. In this case, he will dodge forward. We are doing a branch to check the variable from dodge. So we can only dodge when our dodge is false. If the dodge is true and some animation is being played, then there is a retrig delay. During this period we cannot play another dodge. Therefore, after checking the variable from dodge, which is false by default, we set it to true, coming from the false port, and perform play anim montage. We need to add the anim montage that we created based on the selected animations here. So the animation I have chosen is spear step forward. Right click on it and select create anim montage. When anim montage is created, we check the blends. So at the beginning, 0.1 is to make the blend faster, and the output blend is 0.2 in order to make the blend in running jumps more accurately. I assigned this animation montage in the play animontage retriggable delay node. Here I set it to 0.9. It depends on the length of your animation. Based on this, select this value and then set it to dodge false so that you can dodge again. We continue doing everything in the same way. So if we have this value false, then we perform the following check. The next check I have, for example, is from 135 to minus 135. So this is like a comb pointing backwards. So if it's true, then it will be a backward animation. So he dodges back. Every animation needs to have root motion enabled. If you have baked in root motion in your pack, if there is no root motion animation and it is stationary, then you can adjust the animation itself by animating this root motion. So here is the character's bone hierarchy and we select the root bone. In global coordinates, this needs to be done. Here we place it like this, and in the 0 frame we place a key on this bone, and on the frame where the final displacement will occur, we also place a key and move it the necessary distance. You can find this curve here if you expand the root translation, press curve, edit curve, and accordingly you can adjust and edit all of this here. In the future, using the curve, don't forget to enable root motion. So we apply the same logic for other directions. For example, from minus 135 to minus 45, we go left and also branch off. If false, then it remains as the fourth direction that does not fit all three conditions. So there is no need to redefine it. Just introduce the branch to evade right through false. I have an evade from another set, that is, it's somersaulted. Different movements can be combined. The main thing is that the distance should roughly coincide and it should all look organic. Also set the variable play on demand 3D delay, turn off the variable. After this, your dodge will work in all four directions from any state, that is from a jump, from a sprint. In the next lesson we will gather attacks, attack combinations and skillful attacks. We'll talk again.